Welcome back, guys. Right now we're gonna talk about Francis Ngannou and the UFC, the brass ring. That is the top of the pinnacle when it comes to mixed martial art in the world. So Francis Ngannou recently have been on the news. We have spoken about this in our previous episodes where we were talking about Ngannou having only one fight left in his UFC contract and he refuses to sign a new fight. We spoke about this before Ngannou and when he won the title fight against Miocic, the second fight. We spoke about it that he refused to sign a new contract, which Ngannou has been mentioning and has been adamant that he wants a boxing clause in his contract. He wants to be able to go out there and box, and he doesn't just want to box as like a celebrity boxer. He wants to box seriously and challenge for one of the heavyweight titles out there. So what fast forward a couple of months, say 6 months, it's still the same topic, and it's gotten to a point that Dana White has said some funny things about Ngannou's management, and Dana White has literally brushed it off whenever it came up that will Ngannou leave the UFC after his last fight. Dana White seems to be calling the bluff of Ngannou, and Ngannou, in the other hand, has been insisting that he wants a boxing clause or else he's going to leave and go and box, which is a very, very big risk for Ngannou because Ciryl Gane is no scrub, right? It would look good if Ngannou would go out there and beat Ciryl Gane, right? Before he pulls a CM Punk. Remember, I don't know if you are a pro wrestling fan, but there was a time that they did an angle in WWE where CM Punk's contract was up. He won the WWE title off John Cena, and then he walked away in Chicago. So then the ultimate pipe bomb came after that. I don't wrestling fans would know what I'm talking about. So, do you think Ngannou can pull this off and the UFC will curve basically and agree to his boxing clause in his contract?
I think kind of
Okay.
the whole ball is on Ngannou's court at the moment. And something you didn't mention is that the UFC, Dana White always made it look like it's with regards to money. If you remember before this whole thing, it was Ngannou and John Jones, a mega fight, a super fight, blah blah blah. So you need to give me the right money. So Jones was calling for 10 million, $50 million, so and so on. So Dana White made it look like the UFC, Ngannou is asking for more money. And after, like you said, the issue he had with Ngannou's management, his coach came out recently and now clarified that the issue they have with UFC is not even with regards to money.
Hmm.
That is where we realized that it has to do with a boxing clause. Ngannou now revealed in an interview that all he's asking for UFC to do is to let him compete in boxing. He wants to compete in boxing before retiring. Ngannou is about 35, I think, at the moment. So he has about 5 more years for active career, active fighting, or active boxing. So he feels tying him down with the UFC will prevent him from going to boxing. So he wants the next contract to involve a boxing club, just like what happened to Conor and Floyd Mayweather, something of that nature. So I think that would be
Well,
fantastic, and I want
well,
that for Ngannou, to be honest.
Well, sorry to cut you off, but technically, from a business point of view, yeah, I don't know how
Mm,
the boxing clause would be. Conor never had a
mm-hmm,
boxing clause in his contract. It was just a one-off thing. We all know that Dana White was interested in boxing before MMA. Dana White has
mm-hmm,
Zuffa boxing going on before it died recently, and I don't know if they are going to bring it back. Dana White has always
mm,
wanted to be part of boxing promotion, right? So
mm,
with the Conor McGregor and Floyd thing, it was more of like a business decision. So they shared the revenues, UFC and the money team. What's the name of TMT? What's the name
mm-hmm,
of Connor's
mm-hmm.
Floyd's promotion? So there was that in play. It was a one and done situation type of
Yeah,
thing.
apart from the money as well,
Wait, wait, wait,
Dana
wait,
want
wait, wait, wait.
all
Let me
right.
finish this point. But what Ngannou wants is a clause for him to go out there and box, right? But me, I feel like it's not very easy to just include that in a contract. Like, dude, you can go out and go and box somewhere, right? When you already have a
But what
contract
he's
with
trying
us.
to look for, he's looking for UFC involvement as well, not just let me go when I want to go. No, UFC can be
Uh,
part of the promotion, just like Dana White did with, like you said, Floyd Mayweather. It was the UFC coming together with boxing, Mayweather team, so they
mm,
co-promote that event. So Ngannou is not even bothered from my own seat, from where I'm looking at this whole thing. It's not bothered about Dana White letting me go and just fight. Dana White was going to get percentage of those fights. And to be honest, Ngannou is a superstar that is going to go for big fights
Okay,
with fights
okay.
like
I'm glad.
Dylan
I'm
White,
glad you brought that up. Sorry to
Tyson
cut you off
Fury.
again. I'm glad you brought that up. But
Mm-hmm.
recently, we've been seeing back and forth on Twitter between Ngannou and Tyson Fury. Do you think there is a market? There are people out there that would want to see Ngannou and Fury
Absolutely.
in
Absolutely.
any
Before
in
we
any
continue,
boxing
let me not
bout?
leave the audience out.
Mm-hmm.
Diego is saying Francis is an amazing talent. He should be allowed to box professionally as well. That's Diego saying, speaking. And we have Oyenuga also saying, well, Tyson Fury was also interested in the fight as well. So I decided to bring this conversation into from their angle since we're talking about Tyson Fury at the moment. So everybody is saying Tyson Fury as he's the main guy in boxing at the moment, to be honest. Heavyweight boxing is Tyson Fury. So for Tyson Fury to be saying, I want to fight that
Oh.
beast, he's already giving Ngannou that shine already. You
Mm.
want to fight that beast. So Ngannou is seen as the beast, the guy, the untouchable person, or the untouchable fighter. So for me, I
Okay.
feel Tyson Fury is making it even easy for Ngannou to transition. And Ngannou's last interview, he said with TMZ, regardless of him winning or not winning, he is going to go into boxing. So now I'm happy with that stand. I like fighters who stand on their ground, who don't stay here today and now jump tomorrow, the likes of Masvidal. Sorry, I'm trying to throw shade a little bit. So Ngannou is that guy that will stick to what he wants. And he knows. I know why Ngannou is moving, apart from even the passion for wanting to box. His closest friend, Carlos Takam, is making a lot of money in boxing.
Mm.
Ngannou will make good payday. Ngannou can fight twice in boxing and retire. I'm saying he's good. He's good to go. You know that for sure. He's going to get the likes of Dillian White. You know about Ngannou at the moment. He's so marketable that all heavyweight boxing, the top heavyweight boxers want him at the moment. You get.
Mm.
So now back to the first question you asked me now. If Ngannou beat Gane, Ciryl Gane, is he going to move to boxing? I think if you defeat Ciryl Gane, it will make it much more better. And I feel at that point, Dana White should try to negotiate, let them have that boxing clause, let Dana White get his own chop or his own cuts, and then let Ngannou also make his money. Ngannou is not leaving the UFC completely. So why
So
are we
you
making this
think?
look
So
so
you think?
crazy?
You think there's Ngannou is not bluffing? He's serious about
No.
leaving.
I think, yeah, I think it's a, you know what, you know it's about Ngannou now. Let me put it this way. It's a win-win for Ngannou. Winning against Ciryl Gane is a win. It's a plus for him. Will make the fight with Tyson Fury a bigger fight. Losing against Ciryl Gane is still a big fight. But probably about Tyson Fury, is he going to be interested in that fight afterwards? That's what we don't know. But I believe whether win or lose, Ngannou will still be a big name for boxing. So that's the point. And he's showing
Yeah.
that he's going to go regardless whether he win or lose. So,
Yeah. So in
but I
our
think
live,
winning will be more better.
sorry to cut you off, Farouk. In our live chat, Diego is saying Francis is box office. Obviously, he's agreeing with you. He said he would sell out any venue in the world, which obviously he would. And Fury and Oyenuga here is saying a Fury fight would make a lot of money and eyes. So if I think if it's real, Dana is a corner. I don't really understand that last bit, but it seems
I
like
think if
Oyuniga
it's
and Diego
real,
they are on the same page.
okay, what I say, I think if it's real, Dana is in the corner. That means what I understood from that statement is that Dana will be left out. That's what I think. I don't know if I'm right. But he's saying if
Yeah,
Ngannou is real about what he's saying, Dana is going to be left out of the party,
yeah.
man.
You've already answered the question I was going to ask. I was going to ask if Ciryl Gane. Okay, so
Okay.
there's one thing Ciryl Gane to actually win, right? But there's another
Yeah.
thing for Ciryl Gane to embarrass Ngannou and win, right? So what? How does that
Mm.
affect Francis Ngannou's stock when it comes to him being a big draw when he eventually moves into boxing? That is, if he doesn't sign another contract with the UFC. Have you thought about it? That let's say, remember when
Mm.
Francis Ngannou fought Stipe Miocic the first fight? It
Yeah.
was when he got tired and he was like a zombie, like a big chunk of big sweaty meat walking walking around.
Yeah.
It was so embarrassing and uncomfortable to watch. So let's say Ciryl Gane,
Hmm.
worst comes to worst, Ciryl Gane beats Ngannou like that. He looks awful. Ciryl Gane outclasses him. Do you think that would affect the transition to boxing, or do you think that he will still be a draw?
Even you yourself, you know it's not going to happen that way. Even in your heart, in your deep in your heart, you know it's not going to happen that way. If it happened that way, that would be end of, I think, of Ngannou's journey to boxing. What will happen is that even if Ciryl Gane is going to defeat Ngannou, it's going to happen like the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder third fight. There's going to be a lot of knockdowns, my brother. Ciryl Gane will be knocked down and come back and maybe win on point or something. So I feel no matter how it plays out, Francis Ngannou will still look good, whether he loses or he wins. That's the thing. And one thing about Francis Ngannou is that we've not seen him being knocked out. I don't
Okay.
believe Ciryl Gane can knock Francis Ngannou out. That's the worst case scenario. That's what will make him look bad. You get, they'll say, oh, this guy doesn't have a chin. Oh, blah, blah. But she cannot even be knocked out. So the best chance for Ciryl Gane would be a win by decision.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
how I see it. So I don't think it will affect Francis Ngannou that much.
Okay,
That's
I
my
know
own view.
Farouk. I know that you are a very, very heavy believer when it comes to Francis Ngannou and his power. But dude, the Ciryl Gane
Mhm.
I've seen, Ciryl Gane moves like a lightweight, the way they say, and it's quite true, right? We've
Mm.
seen sparring
Mhm.
videos,
Mhm.
and we've seen Ngannou when he goes the full distance before, when he goes 5 rounds before. We see how tired he gets, right?
Mhm.
Because with
Mhm.
heavy muscles like that comes like respiration, the heart would have to beat, pump blood faster, and you get tired in it. So,
Mhm.
so does there is no doubt in your mind that Ngannou is gonna beat Ciryl Gane, or he would not be embarrassed? You don't think anything like that would happen?
Okay, so let me break this down a little bit. I don't know if I can do it, but let me try to break it down. If if Ciryl Gane can manage to avoid Ngannou's power hands, then what you're talking about will happen. Ngannou will get tired in the fourth, five round. I get where you're coming from. Ngannou has won his last 5 fights in less than a round or within a round. So he has not gone the distance as much as Ciryl Gane has gone the distance. I think Ciryl Gane has gone distance about 2, 3 times now, main events.
Mm-hmm.
So we can play that to Ciryl Gane's advantage. But I believe Ngannou is going to clip this guy like one or twice. And that energy, that cardio will go away. Senegal will be struggling on the ground, on the mat. I'm telling you. He'll be trying to get up like Stipe was doing. So it's not when you have that power to get up that you want to take someone to the last round, to all 5 rounds. That's the point. So is he going to stay there and not get touched for 5 rounds? We don't know until we see. But I believe he's going to be clear. I'm going to say I can tell you for sure. I'm going to say like 4 or 5 knockdowns in that fight.
Ah.
But I don't want to say all will come from Ngannou. Let me not be too biased. But we can see 3 to 4 knockdowns in that fight because there's no way. I know Ciryl Gane is a decent fighter, is a better fighter technically.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody know that worldwide. Everybody know. We can all see that it's clear. But can he avoid Ngannou? Ngannou is going to he's going to fight rough. He's going to bring the dirty boxing. He's going to find a way of clipping Ciryl Gane one way or the other. So I see Ngannou knocking that guy out within the first 3 rounds. To be
Okay,
honest, that's my own
okay,
prediction.
Farouk, I hear
Yeah.
you, and Oyenuga, I hear you. Anything can happen in MMA as well, as
Mm.
Oyenuga pointed out in our live chat. So,
Mm.
okay, so quickly, predictions. What's your prediction for Ngannou versus Ciryl Gane?
Mm. Third round knockout or TKO Ngannou.
Okay.
That's what I see. Yeah,
Uh,
because like you say, if you go the distance, it's to the advantage of Ciryl Gane. If it goes to the point, if it goes the distance, I see Ciryl Gane winning on points. That is honest reality. If Ngannou cannot take him out of the fight within the first 3 rounds, then there's problem. To be honest,
Okay.
I
While
don't see Ngannou
why
winning
why
by points
while you're still
on points.
explaining, Oyenuga and Diego, if you're still there, or if is there anybody in the live chat, you could drop your predictions for Ngannou versus Ciryl Gane. How do you guys see the fight going? What are your predictions? And
Yeah.
we'll talk about that as well. But as for me, my prediction for Ciryl Gane versus Ngannou, I see a unanimous victory for Ciryl Gane. Okay.
Wow, bold one.
This
Okay.
is also because I don't want to be I don't want to be obviously in my heart I want Ngannou to win. But
Mm.
honestly, the sparring footage that came out, performances of Ciryl Gane, I kind of see Ciryl Gane dancing circles
But
around Ngannou,
the sparring
dancing.
footage are not enough. I don't think they're enough. If
Listen,
you're judging
listen,
Surugan based on
listen. I
overall
understand. I'm not
performances,
arguing that
okay.
fact. I'm giving you my prediction. And
Mm-hmm.
my prediction is
All right.
I've been convinced by the sparring footages. I've been convinced by the recent performances of Ciryl that Ciryl would dance circles around Ngannou to the fifth round, and he'll probably win the championship rounds as well, and maybe win 3 rounds to 2. So
Okay, we have some
that's my
prediction coming
prediction.
already. We have Kasali is here, Francis TKO in the second round. So someone is with me here. Kasali says Francis TKO in the second round, and we have Renuga as well. I'm not a betting man. I choose Francis second round TKO. Anything past that is Ciryl. Like I said to you, the same thing similar. Ciryl is in Cyril's favor. True.
Damn. Diego,
Diego is here.
That's a bold one, yo. Fourth round, do you think Ngannou would still have the power for a knockout in the fourth round? Well, anyways, that power. That power is always there because we've seen
He's there. He's
Derek
there.
Lewis, right? Derek Lewis knocked
Yeah.
out. What's the name of that tall Russian guy? Volkov, right? Volkov.
Volkov. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Volkov.
yeah.
Yeah.
He knocked him out in the final round after he was tired. So yeah, Diego, I
The last
see
2 minutes, I
that
would
that
say,
could
the
happen
last
as
two
well.
minutes of that fight.
That could
Mm.
happen as well. Well, anyways,
Mm.
let's just leave that Ngannou topic for now. And what other topic? What are we speaking about next, Farouk?
But before we leave the topic, what happened to Ciryl Gane after that fight? Where does he go from there if he lose? Because
Oh, okay.
now Ciryl Gane,
Mm-hmm.
they are saying he has a John Jones clause. That's why his manager is saying, his coach,
Mm.
that if he defeats Francis Ngannou, whether or not he has a John Jones clause. So do you see that as a setback for Ciryl Gane if he loses to Francis Ngannou, or do
Mm.
you see him bouncing back for a championship fight next? Because if Ngannou is still the champion and he's been knocked out like everyone is saying, I don't see him getting title shot immediately. So where does he go from there? If you win or if he lose, what can you say about that?
Um, I don't think John Jones wants anything to do with Ciryl Gane, except honestly, because in the heavyweight division, I think that would be his hardest fight, right?
Mm.
I'm just thinking. I think John Jones right now he has already made it clear that he's all for the money fight, and the biggest money
Mm.
fight is the Ngannou, and the money fight always comes with risk. He would rather want Ngannou. So if Ngannou beats Ciryl Gane, there's no Ciryl Gane John Jones, or
Mm.
let's say maybe Ngannou packs up and leaves the UFC. There'll obviously be a fight to crown the new champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have
Mm-hmm.
Derek Lewis and Taito Vasa going to happen soon, right?
Mm. Okay, true.
Yeah, so we have John Jones here as well. John Jones is the odd man out, and he says he's going to fight in 2022. So I think if Ciryl Gane loses, there's no title fight for him. But if he
Mm-hmm.
wins, then I think that's when John Jones will come out and be like, I don't have
Comes
any
in.
choice. Comes in and say, I
What
don't
about
have any
Stipe?
choice.
Why are you putting Stipe at the moment? Stipe is kind of out of this whole picture for.
Uh,
So where do you put Stipe? Because people are talking about
honest,
Stipe fighting John Jones. I think I would like to see that fight as well.
yeah, well, a non-title fight would be nice. Stipe and John Jones.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just do a legend fight, and probably Stipe will just
A
lose
number one contender fight as well for the title. That could be a
and
number one
just
contender as
go.
well.
But what with regards to John Jones, honestly, I think John Jones probably has only 2 fights left in him. Maybe
Okay.
that is if he gets paid what he wants. But he's very young,
Mm.
Sha. He's very young, but he's just stubborn. And with regards to Stipe, I would hate to see Stipe being the champion again because he would just hold that title and fight once a year again.
Honestly, true. JB, take the
Yeah.
charts. We have some comments in chat. I don't know if you
Okay,
see them.
so Adetoro says if Francis Ngannou even breathe on Ciryl Gane, that he will knock him out. And I think Oyenuga is bringing some topics here. He's talking about sparring Baka. I don't know what that means, but he says there's Burns versus Usman, TJ versus Dillashaw.
TJ. I think he's doing some kind of
Oh, okay,
matchmaking
okay. He's
there.
talking. Oh, he's talking about the sparring footages, fighter
Oh,
sparring.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay. Sparring. Oh,
yeah.
okay, from
Mm.
teammate. Yeah, I get it
Yeah,
now. Okay.
and He says it is Jones. Jones would have had speed and technical advantage, but it's Ciryl Gane that all out the window. He still has grappling, but Kasali here says Ngannou will not resign with UFC. He will box next.
Will not
Much
resign.
more.
Will not resign.
Oh, will not resign. Oh, gosh,
Yeah.
sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I need a cup of coffee, man. So if we are going to see, if you are going to see, I'm just going to throw this out now. If we are going to see a championship fight that is for a vacant title, right, for the heavyweight title, let's assume Ngannou won and left, who are going to fight for the vacant title? Comment section as well. You guys, suggestions of who would fight for the vacant title if Ngannou wins and leaves.
I think there's going to be like a semi-final kind of This really I forget how they call it,
like a Grand Prix, like a tournament.
Prix, yeah, tournament. Not yes, will not officially say it's a tournament, but they're going to put it. They're going to pair two groups.
So two number one contender fight.
Number one contender fight. Thank you. That's the best way to put it. Stipe will come into the picture. Jones will come into the picture. Because once Jones is smart. Once Ciryl Gane is defeated or Ngannou, Jones will jump into that picture. He's just watching from the side to see what happens. According to our colleague, Yagi says Jones will never fight in the UFC ever again. I doesn't see Jones fighting again. We never can tell. So I see Jones, Stipe, Ciryl Gane, and maybe the winner between Tuivasa and Lewis back. Lewis always come back in that title picture. But that guy doesn't want the title, to be honest. Just after the money as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about the title.
Yeah, Oyenuga says Ciryl Gane again and Stipe. Honestly, I don't see Ciryl Gane fighting for a title after a loss. However, we've seen it happen with what's this fight? The fight that Peter Yan just had in Abu Dhabi, right? Was it in Abu Dhabi?
He fought. Yeah, Peter and this Sanhagen.
Yeah, Sanhagen. Sanhagen lost. He lost to Dillashaw, and he fought for the interim title. And Peter Yan technically lost to the champion, and both of them came from losses and fought for the interim title. But
Oyenuga is also right, because if Ngannou wins and leave the UFC as well, Ciryl Gane will still come back to the picture, because it's going to be like the only guy that beat him is Ngannou.
You know why UFC don't? You know why UFC don't like doing that? They will be like, okay, let me give you an example with Khabib. Khabib left. There was a vacant title, but he beat Justin Gaethje before he left. But Justin Gaethje was not put in the vacant title fight because they don't want it to be like, okay, your champion is only a champion because the original champion is not there anymore. You understand?
Yeah, true.
So that's why if you take an L, you would have to go and get a W to come back
before coming back.
Which it would not be good for the promotion technically, because it would look like you're only champion because this guy is not here. So I think that's why Ciryl Gane will probably not get the nod.
Thank you guys for supporting the African fighters. Please click on the subscribe button so that you'll be informed whenever we post a video. And also show us support, take us to 1,000 subscribers. We really appreciate all the support, all the love. Thank you.
Come on, Africans!